holy shit, they did it. They made a great sequel to Top Gun. I went and saw Top Gun Maverick last night, and it was fucking fantastic. It exceeded my expectations in pretty much every way. Right from the beginning of the movie, I was on the edge of my seat. I was smiling. I was having a great time. It was such an entertaining and fun movie. It was like such a worthy successor and sequel to the original. A lot of times with these long dormant franchises, they really fuck it up when they do a sequel or a reboot these long dormant franchises. But this did not experience that. This didn't happen with that in any way. It was great. Um, and something I'll say about it, it has some of the best like throwback or nostalgia type footage that I've ever seen in a movie that I can really remember. It totally respects and honors the original while not coming off as too pandering. And you don't even really need to have seen the original to appreciate the movie or these scenes. It's just that if you have seen the original, you'll sort of recognize those, and I feel like they're really satisfying to fans of the series, to fans of the original movie. Um, they even acknowledge that Maverick had a life between the two movies. Some characters and events that they reference and that you encounter that Maverick obviously knows them, but they weren't in the first movie, so it feels really natural. I feel like too, and at no point in the movie did Maverick take a backseat to anybody else, any other character that was made to outshine him or seem like they were, his better to build them up and break him down sort of moment. They totally they made this Mavericks movie. It was his time. There's several moments in the movie that it's kind of a big payoff, very satisfying to see his character arc come to this. But that doesn't mean they do give other characters a chance to grow and develop and have their own arcs within the movie. You know, Maverick is allowed to be a badass and to kick ass, but he's also a vulnerable human. There's rad scenes of him schooling the pilots, despite the fact that earlier he expressed he didn't want to be a teacher. He doesn't think that's the life for him, but he goes and does it because that's his mission, now. And the love interest that they put in there for him, Jennifer Connelly, she did a great job as Penny. She seemed really real. She was allowed to be a strong woman without breaking down Tom Cruise or making Maverick feel like he was, less than her or anything like that. They gave her moments, and she seemed like a really fleshed out character, like a really full character. And Jennifer Connelly did a great job with her. Also the student pilots that Maverick is training, his trainees, they're pilots that have their own traits, their own interesting characteristics. But there's also a callback to the original. The pilots, they have this cocky attitude. It really mirrors the original. Bunch of cocky pilots that are always challenging one another and setting up their own sort of competitions within the training. Really cocky and in each other's faces. It really felt good. It felt like the original. But again, it wasn't too pandering. It wasn't like they took it over the top. There was a really compelling arc too for Goose's son in the movie that you saw in the trailers. They show that there's going to be some, tension between him and Maverick. And it's not just over Goose's death. They make it deeper than that, and they kind of explore the relationship that they had. It was really great. Totally felt like a good continuation from the first movie. And the action in this was fucking top-notch, incredible. This movie is like a total example of why you need to do practical effects and real effects. CG just, as good as some CG has become or was at some point, They've gotten really lazy with it. A lot of modern effects are just trash and they look like shit, and people know that, and you don't want to see that. You want to see these rich, realistic effects. And, from everything I'd seen, and there was a forward in the movie from Tom Cruise, kind of like telling that he put his all into this and thanking the fans for watching. And, that message, whether or not someone may think it's sincere, I appreciated it, and I appreciate the fact that he, uh, you know, does his own stunts, and he and the other actors went and did these. The I'm sure they had training, and they did these stunts and scenes in the jets. There was a lot of real footage. I know that was very expensive. It was probably somewhat dangerous, but they did that, and it really paid off. I'd say the action in the original, it had some good scenes, but they were really limited on what they could do and probably how much they could spend on what they did with the jets. And what they did with the jets in this one, the dogfighting, the training sequences, just the flying, it was incredible, very very satisfying, and I just feel like the bits of CG that I'm sure they did have to use in the more fantastical and bombastic sequences. That was really well done and very well integrated. It was never looked bad or noticeable. So I thought that the movie overall was great. It was there were stakes in the movie. Not to say it was perfect and didn't have any problems, but it was definitely a worthy successor to the original. Again, like I said, I can't praise this enough. It was like the first movie, but dialed up to 11 in many ways. And I have to say, definitely go see this movie if you haven't seen it. I may go. I'm probably going to go see it again, maybe in IMAX, because this one feels worth it to me. So, anyways, that's all I've got for this one. I'll see you on the next one, and you guys take it easy.